do I get more information on this topic? Where can I find more about this or that? These are common questions that we receive. Pay attention, because we're going to answer these questions. My name is Laura. My husband is behind the camera. He's recording this video. Many individuals ask us, after watching these videos or getting information about work that's done for them, do you have a book I can read to get more knowledge or information on that? Do you have something I can use to be able to do that myself? These are very common questions. Honey?
Yes.
I want to get you involved now. So how do we answer them?
Well, we just answer. What do you mean? How do you answer that?
What is your reply to them?
Oh, well, the reply is that we provide materials as we're guided. The interesting part, though, to my response is that if you were to ask me what material, I don't know. Why don't I know?
Because you weren't guided with the information to give them.
Exactly. Until the situation comes up, I don't know what the material is.
That's right. It's different for everyone.
It's also very rare that material is handed out besides decrees.
Correct.
Every now and again, an individual I'm guided to provide certain reading material to individuals, but that's very rare. I mean, I don't see that often. And normally, of course, the material that will be given to the individual, we've never seen, we've never heard, we've never read the material. The bottom line is that if somebody's looking for the material that we use, we don't really have any such thing.
We don't. Every single video on our channel is guided. So the topic comes up, we record.
Like this one right now.
Yes.
Okay? So we don't have a script of any kind. You know, you get in front of the camera with your beautiful face, and then I push the record button. And
that's right.
We'll see how it goes.
If you have specific questions, ask. We'll probably end up recording a video about it.
Right.
This is how a lot of individuals will get their questions answered, or maybe they've already been answered through other videos we've recorded. So make sure you watch them.
So now let's go back to the original question.
Yes.
So, is there additional material that an individual could access to understand what we do more, or to understand the teachings? Because everything we do is based on the teachings, right? That's the guidance we get from this master is based on the teachings.
Yes.
So when someone asks, well, can I get more information on, for example, you got a question about, can I get more information about the violet flame?
That comes up a lot.
Right? So what's our response to that? We have the videos. After you watch the videos, the key thing here is implementation.
Yes.
Everything we do is based on implementation. That's how you learn. That's how I would answer that question, based on what you've asked.
Right. That's normally how you do respond. Tell them to apply it, to use it, and then they'll see the results and they'll understand more.
Because what will happen is, everyone that turns to us for help, whether or not they realize it, they're on a journey. The moment you request help from us, you're on a journey to learn and understand yourself better. Now, whether or not you continue on that journey is up to you, right? It's up to the individual.
That's correct.
That's why, for example, even when work is done on somebody, they just ask for help with one thing, and you send them a message, oh, work was done on this, a clearing work was done on you. And then if they're curious enough, they'll be like, well, what did the clearing work involve? And you say, oh, we check for hexes, curses, spells. Well, any person that cares about the future will ask the question, What's a hex? What's a spell? Will you please explain that? By asking those questions, you'll probably send them to a video, right? Go watch this video, record
That's
this.
right.
But now they're learning about what hexes and spells are, what curses are. That's how you learn here, by applying yourself. It's not about reading. Now, for example, individuals that get the violet flame, and individuals get to the point where they might be given the violet flame, or they have the violet flame decree that we give to everybody, right?
Correct.
So they start saying that. Just by saying that decree, if you pay attention, you start to have certain experiences. If you're saying it the way you're supposed to. Now, we don't share our experiences because everybody's experience is different. In the Facebook group, I know they share, and that's all right, because you get an idea as to what's going on, what other people are experiencing, but we don't share our personal ones.
Right.
Anyway, just by saying the violet flame decree, this is just one example, just by saying the violet flame decree, you will have experiences. Believe it or not, if you're observant, you'll start to notice certain things going on around you. What you're supposed to do is send us an update. Right?
Yes.
And why are they supposed to send us the update? If they're seeing the violet flame and then they notice some things are happening.
So it can be explained why those things are happening and how it affects their life.
And once it's explained to them, what starts to happen to them?
They start to go, oh, and then they want to learn more, and they start saying the violet flame more, and then they have more experiences, and it just continues from there.
And that's how they learn.
Yes.
So you learn by implementation, not by reading a book.
Right.
This is not school where you go and sit in a classroom, you get a book, you get homework. That's not this. That's a long way to learning something. Here, the shortest route is implementation, because again, the key is, if you experience it yourself, what happens to your belief system?
Oh gosh, it grows. It becomes stronger
Why is that?
because now you know exactly what will happen.
Right? Nobody has to convince you.
That's right.
It's not theory. That's the approach that the SM Masters have with us. Everything that we've learned by doing. You know that. Not everything, because there are times when I'm sent, I might be told, go read this book, just to get one thing out of the book, but then that's
But it's something for you to implement.
Exactly.
Which then you implement, and then you learn a whole lot of information.
Exactly. All right, so that does happen sometimes, but we implement a lot. So anyone that turns to us for help, we expect them to implement. That's the co-creation part. So there is no book to read. The only videos to watch are the ones that we already have recorded, because we're guided to record those videos to help the individuals better understand how we do things, what's expected of them, right? How certain things work in the spiritual realm. If people want to watch things outside of those videos that we have recorded, that's their business. But if they go out there and they see something or hear something that's contrary to what we recorded, then they're welcome to come and ask us about it. But depending on what that is, we might not comment on somebody else's video, because we don't want to do that. This is not a war between individuals. We don't want anybody to look bad, so we don't want to be construed that way. So we might just tell you, you know what, that's what that person did. We don't know their source. We're not interested in their source. We know our source, and that's what we work with.
Right.
And that's why I believe, now this is just my opinion, I believe the Zen Masters have done it this way to make sure that we don't get contaminated with all information all over the place. Because after a while you start to get confused. Which one is accurate? Do I follow this? Do I follow that? So we just say implement.
Yes.
And whatever tool you're given, use that tool. Because that tool is given to you for a reason. And that reason is for you to grow. That tool is given to you because you're at that level where you can start using that tool to learn your lessons for whatever level you happen to be. The more you implement the tool, the more experiences you should be having, and then the more you'll learn because you're asking questions.
Which means you'll grow.
So the bottom line is, again, how will they get their questions answered?
By implementing what they've been given.
And then,
And then asking questions.
well, giving us updates, right?
Oh yes, giving us updates, asking questions.
And now I hope they're beginning to see the importance of updates.
Yes.
Because when you give the updates, you get explanations when necessary. You know, and it starts to open your eyes. Because again, you're on a journey and your training has begun. Don't try to do things on your own. You're still a baby as far as how we do things. And there's so many people, well, not so many people, there are some people that believe that, oh, I can do this on my own. And then they struggle because they don't understand what they're doing. They'll look at what we do and they think, oh, this is just like what I've experienced, or I've seen a video on this somewhere. How accurate is that in your thinking?
It hasn't been so far with anyone who's done that.
Oh, okay. You have,
They've tried their thing thinking that, you know, they could do exactly what we're doing, but then it didn't work out. So it's what we do is a bit different. And we have a video about that too, how we're different.
oh, okay. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You know, so again, the bottom line is that if there is reading material to be given to you, you'll know because we'll let you know. In many cases, you get to a certain point, you're given a set of decrees that are specific to you. So if you have a friend that's working with us already, and they tell you they have a set of decrees, or they have a set of tools, what would you tell that person? Would you suggest that they go and borrow their friend's tools?
No, I suggest that they wait and just implement what they've been given already.
Now,
And-
what if they haven't been given anything?
Oh, well, they can ask if there's anything they should do. I mean, the Violet Flame is open to everyone.
Right.
So they should definitely implement saying the Violet Flame decree. And then as they continue, guidance will be received as to what they should do next. And that may not be the same thing that your friend is doing. It could be something completely different.
More than likely, it won't be the same thing. I've never
Right.
seen somebody get that. Even you and I get the same thing to a certain point. But I have some things.
No,
that you
yours
don't.
is usually always different than mine.
Right? And we're
And
married.
it's even different for our kids.
That's correct.
So,
You know, so it's very, very, how do you say, customized. How about that?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Highly customized.
So
Very unique experience for you.
work hard, co-create, so that you get the tools. And of course, your tools may change over time because as you progress, then you're given different tools. You might be told, stop using these tools, you're using these now. We've seen that happen as well. And there are times when you're taken back because you obviously weren't ready for the tools that were given to you
Right.
for whatever reason. And we've seen that happen as well. But again, there really aren't any books to give. And if you are, if we are guided to give you books to read, know that we haven't read them. And what I normally do, because I have this really bad habit, because I want to know what's in the book anyway, I will skim through the book. But normally I've never heard of the book, right? You know that. We have to
Yes.
literally do research and see, what is this all about? And I stress that because you shouldn't ask us questions about the book because we wouldn't have knowledge about the book in the first place
Right.
because we haven't read the book, more than likely, if you happen to get a book. All right, so I want to make that clear. So these are not books that we've read that we're handing to you. I don't normally see that happen at all. These are normally books, well, except for the series that we use for Project Prosperity, because those we've read.
Yes.
And then for the next level, I don't know if we're using any books, but we shall find out. But that's about the only time that we've gotten books that we've read, and then we're passing those on to the trainees, if you call them, or members of the group, the Project Prosperity group.
Right.
What else? As far as you get decrees,
Right.
implement them, right? Say them. You might get affirmations. Those are different from decrees.
Right.
Okay.
Implement whatever you're given, basically.
But every time you're given a tool, we expect updates from you. You notice something, any noticeable change of any kind of change, send us a message. Oh, I noticed this, you know, and then we'll explain to you why you noticed that. And now you should start taking notes because you're learning. Your training has started. You know, and then you'll have more questions, and then we answer those, and it just keeps going like that. That's how you learn here. You learn by implementation, bottom line.
Okay. Thank you for covering that for us.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does.
All right, so we are done with, do you have any tools or any books or anything that I could read?
Yes.
Okay. And then to close it out, let me say that anything that we do, it's not from a book. It's not from research done in a library or anything like that. It's not from some workshop or some training that you go to and receive. It's not from any of those. We get our training directly from the spiritual realm, from the Ascended Masters. So again, so if you ask us for books to see what we've done, we don't have that. Now we're documenting what we're doing because we'll be using that material as training material for individuals once they get to the certain level that we expect them to get to. They'll have a manual we give them. Then we train them on how to do the work. But that's our work, our years of work being documented. It's not something that's available to be purchased. All right. All right, folks.
See you next time.
Yes.
Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.